local shop with this little scooter that had a running problem. Wasn't idling and no power, so we just went down to get some of this data recording to show you guys what you can see on this little scooter, which was a SYM HD200 4-stroke. So we're just having a look through just to see if there's anything obvious that jumps out at us to indicate any electrical problems. So here we can see the idle speed control bypass valve on this little scooter was way out of range, so it was basically just trying to do its job, keeping the bike running. So that was just something to be aware of, which was a result of the situation, which we'll get to a little bit later. But in this case, we're just looking through data just to check that everything is okay. And the data that we're seeing is correct, based on basic general knowledge of how an engine works and fuel injection. So we're just looking at throttle position sensors, making sure voltages are okay, temperature, pressures, all those kinds of things, just to make sure that the ECU is being given the right information. So we've got the atmospheric pressure there at 1000 kilopascals, which is around normal for Queensland at the moment in the summer. So we've got various different things. Engine temperature 69 degrees, so that's fine, it's just warming up. Voltages from those sensors, air temperature is correct. It's getting a bit of warmth from the engine, plus we're in a hot workshop. It's a 33-degree day outside. So we're trying to hold the throttle open and keep the engine running. Flick onto the faults. These are past faults memorised by the ECU where the mechanic has pulled components off just to check sensors. Statuses just tells us what's happening. Fuel pump not running. ECU status, just what kind of situation it's in. Lambda probe heater off. It was on earlier while the thing was warming up. So the lambda sensors obviously got up to temperature and it didn't require the heater. And the secondary control air valve is on. A bit of basic ECU information. We're clearing in the activations and in the settings here, just things that we can adjust and reset should we feel the need to. So we just did a couple of those just to show you what happens when we're doing this. So it's all straightforward. The instructions are given to you on screen on this particular scooter. So a TPS reset is just an adaptive reset, so you're telling the ECU that the throttle is closed, therefore the voltage that is present is 0 throttle voltage. So we're then gone back just to have a look at technical information sheets, just to see if there's anything of any use to us in there we should maybe need to know. This is just basic information about cleaning injectors. Fairly straightforward, nothing really relevant to us here. Bypass valve fault, so because we were seeing the values that we were seeing was well out of range. As I say, that was a result of the ECU trying to keep the engine running. So other than that, nothing particularly in there that helps us, except this part. So we had a look in here, so there is a ECU update, and we just wanted to work out if this maybe had been done. So along with this, it shows an updated vacuum hose arrangement, and we could see that that had been done on this bike. However, in the little instructions we see here, there are 2 screws, and one of them should not be touching the throttle valve, and that was. So that was a little bit of a clue to someone maybe having a bit of a play around, trying to keep this bike idling. So screw B had been screwed in to try and open the throttle valve a little bit, I guess to try and keep the bike idling. But it was never going to happen due to the evident fault at the end of our discussions. So I just backed that screw off just to the specifications that it said in there, which basically wasn't touching the throttle. So I just wanted to make sure of that. So then we had a quick look in the wiring diagram, see if there's anything else to help tell us a bit more about how this system works. And just to be able to record that and show you all the data that we do have available to us within the software, apart from just fault codes and service lights and all the basic stuff. There's a lot of extra information in here. So we just had a quick flick through just to show the guys while I was showing them the equipment, what we've got. in here. So we've come back out of that. We've not really found anything that's abnormal to do with the electronics. So it's leading us to come to another conclusion. So we just got back in now just to have a look at the errors again and just to clear those, because we hadn't cleared those. So the errors were showing as yellow, which means they're held in memory, which means there was a problem, which is now not there, they were disconnected. So we just clear those from memory. So you know where we are. Always best to do those after you've done a bit of an investigation rather than straight off. And then we'll just have another look at some data there. So what was the problem? There's not really any electrical issues going on, so it's back to basics. Suggested test was a compression test. Result received was 95 psi. So there we go. So the symptoms bear that out. It's a mechanical issue, not an electrical issue. Always best to go back to basics to start with.